Southeast Australia is bracing for heatwave conditions this weekend thanks to an area of high pressure east of Tasmania drawing warm air towards the coast. South Australians experienced temperatures of up to 15 degrees warmer than average yesterday for the first time of the year. Today, the hot weather is expected to move into Melbourne with very warm overnight temperatures before arriving in Sydney's west around Monday. Joining me now is senior meteorologist and from the Bureau, Angus Hines. Great to have you with us. So let's start with today's forecast, and it's going to be a very hot day and night in parts of Victoria, including Melbourne.
Yeah, morning, Shervo. Indeed it is. Bit of a scorcher on the way today for large parts of southeast. Probably that sharpest focus of the heat is on Victoria today. Yesterday it was South Australia. Widespread hot temperatures there. Today Victoria, but also heating up through Tasmania, New South Wales, parts of ACT as well. So for Melbourne, we're looking at maybe 34 degrees today, 36 degrees tomorrow, and the overnight in between the two, probably saying somewhere in the low to mid-20s. So we might see an overnight minimum of something like 22 or 23 degrees, which for parts of the north of the country, not unusual, but to get those overnight temperatures down in the far south of Australia is pretty uncommon and no doubt going to lead to some uncomfortable and sticky night's sleep today. More broadly speaking, widespread warm temperatures across the southeast today, temperatures between 8 and about 12 or 14 degrees warmer than we'd usually see at this time of year. So lots of places in the mid or upper 30s, couple of spots maybe touching the low 40s as well. Yeah,
ditch the doona. What about Sydney? So the weather's going to hit late over the weekend. What can they expect?
Yeah, Sydney's a little bit later on in the picture. They get, well, actually a pretty pleasant weekend. Lots of sunshine with those temperatures in the upper 20s. So I don't think anyone's calling it cold this weekend in Sydney, but they won't see the real warmth strike until perhaps Sunday or Monday. Temperatures getting into the 30s, particularly those western suburbs, seeing some of those warmer temperatures. And then at the moment, it actually looks like a prolonged run from the end of the weekend through until at least about halfway through next week of significantly above average temperatures around eastern parts of New South Wales.
Meanwhile too, so southeast of Queensland, rain predicted there. What can we expect?
Yeah, it's actually been a very wet night in some parts of southeast Queensland. Not so much in Brisbane itself. The heavier rainfall overnight last night into this morning has been a little bit further south. So we're looking Gold Coast, we're looking Coolangatta, we're looking the very, very far northeastern corner of New South Wales. Persistent showers overnight have brought over 100 millimetres of rain in some areas. And it's really that same spot which could continue to be very wet through the day today. So maybe the southern suburbs of Brisbane, down through the Gold Coast, down to Coolangatta, Tweed Heads, northern New South Wales, wet day there today, another 50 millimetres at least, probably more in a few areas through the day today, before it looks to clear up tonight and then a brighter and more settled weekend ahead in that region. Yeah,
so overall, these severe heat waves, how long is it going to last up and down the east coast?
So we're looking at probably the peak heat being Friday, Saturday across Victoria, Tasmania. Then some cooler weather arriving. A little bit of rainfall coming in as well through the second half of the weekend there. It's not going to be a fully fledged cold change that brings really chilly weather, but we might lose that top 5 or 8 degrees and go back to somewhere near average by the end of the weekend across the southeast. But we don't see that slightly cooler breath of air coming through New South Wales. So into next week, continuing to run pretty warm across the state there, while other places will be a little bit cooler for next week.
OK, thank you, Angus. We're doing our best to stay cool. Use whatever you can, whatever is around the house to keep you cool. Plastic leaves included. I don't know if this is working at all.